Hey guys, Zach here. Just going through my subscriptions this morning and I saw a video up from Vance. Thanks for the tag, bud. Much appreciated. And the video he had up was where it all started in folding knife collection. Well, let's just jump in and here's a partial view of my current collection. I have a lot of other slip joints and things that probably aren't so popular within the tactical knife world and so on. So I don't have those out here as part of my collection. I do have others. I do have also a collection of historical knives. Not replicas, but original World War II, World War I things. But let's just talk about the knife that started it all. For me, was this Panther Jr. here, okay? Now this particular knife was owned by my father, who has since passed away. He passed away last year, right before Thanksgiving, which, you know, it's shitty, taken before his time, you know, one of those things. If I hold it up here, you could see that, yeah, when I was younger, I lived on a small cattle farm. My parents had cattle and so forth. This thing, I broke it a couple times, tried to sharpen it on just a bench grinder, you know, well before we knew any better, just being a stupid kid. I've kept this thing forever. You know, obviously this knife isn't worth shit to anybody except for me. It's got no value, you know, no price value anyway, no monetary value. The intrinsic value is everything here. So this is actually, I don't know when I got this, maybe 5 or 6. The first pocket knife, kind of a hand-me-down from my father. And you know, back then I was like, wow, this thing's kind of pretty cool. And then I realized it was kind of a piece of junk. So I went ahead after I broke it and ground on it a bit. My dad had kind of mimicked, you know, was one of those kids that kind of mimicked what my father did and so forth. Went and got my first buck folding knife, very similar to what my dad and my grandpa were carrying at the time. This is the Buck 303 slip joint. You got your standard sheep's foot, your clip point, you know, you got your 3 blades. And I've had this thing since maybe I was 8. I've had this forever. Not like you, buddy, Vance. I never really have been much of a knife trader. But I totally understand where you're coming from. Most of the knives, if I haven't lost them, that I have from when I was a kid, and I'm 32 now, I still have them, actually. Stuffed or stashed somewhere, so I'm almost like a hoarder in that sense, that I don't really get rid of things once I have them. But really what got me into collecting was that small Buck 303 and this guy right here. I know it's not a folding knife, but these are the two that got my collection. I think I bought them both at the same time. I had some birthday money or something. This is a Buck 105, and this to you know, to an 8 or a 10-year-old kid was just like the baddest thing ever. And you know, for all of us blade steel Nazis out there, this thing, I mean, Buck I know is kind of known for their heat treat and so forth, but this thing doesn't have a spot of rust on it, and I've used and abused the hell out of this blade. You know, and this is, I think, 440 HC steel. I wasn't too good at sharpening back then, so of course it was dull. It didn't hold the greatest edge, but man, I've used this thing for, you know, a long time, and it's still, you know, it's just as good as it was when, you know, I took it out of the box. So those are kind of the 2 or 3 different ones that got me started into collecting. You know, I started with, again, the one from my dad. Got myself a slip joint and a fixed blade at the same time, and you know, it was almost, you know, it was a little weird. You know, Vance talks about taking knives to school. Yeah, I would have taken this to school every day too if I could have gotten away with not getting in trouble. I did always carry this to school. You know, I didn't whip it out and show it off so it would get taken away, but I would have. You know, I was a small kid, little kid when I was younger, short, skinny. And I'd have this thing just dangling off my leg, and it would just probably go down to about from my waist to my knee, for Christ's sake. So there you go. There's kind of the few that got me collecting, and then you know, I've kind of been all over the map since then. I've got some scrimshaw stuff. I've got a bunch of small slip joints and different things that were given to me as gifts, you know, because people knew that I was kind of into knives. And then, you know, within the past few years, this collection has been born up. You know, I've got all your Spydercos. We'll just run through them real quick. We'll get the Native, of course the Tenacious, which is just an incredible value. Pair of paramilitaries, no puns intended. The Mannix FRN with the blue handle, Endura, Mannix XL, SOCOM Delta, if you saw my video there, SOCOM Elite, the Eagle, the Wilson Combat Eagle. I'm loving this guy right now, it's just freaking awesome. We got our CRK Umnumzan ZT 560, ZT 301, Benchmade 275 Adamus. Nice knife, really heavy though, really a bulky tank. More recently, haven't had this guy on camera yet, but I just got this as a GPK exclusive. Griptilian, I got 82 out of 300. And this one, I believe, is in CPM M4 steel. So an exclusive run for GPK. If you're looking to pick one up, I think they might still have them. My Osborne 940, great little EDC. Of course, who doesn't have a mini grip? Piranha Predator Auto. My Sog Slim Jim. Doesn't always open right. Of course, you wouldn't be a Nut and Fancy fan if you didn't have a small Victorinox Cadet. And of course, the Buck 301. And this little Panther Junior here. Now I have one more, I'm going to run and get it, and I'll be right back. And my carry, of course, my latest acquisition, my Spartan Acrobus. So there you go. There's my current, you know, more valuable folders in my collection. Maybe someday I'll get out all of the slip joints and the pocket knives and some of the historical stuff and do a video there. But thanks again to Vance. Thanks again really to the whole community. You guys have been, you know, I kind of felt like I was stepping on toes by doing my own video channel. And that's not really why I wanted to do this. I just really want to share my collection with, and my thoughts on different knives with like-minded people. You know, I don't really have a lot of friends that are into knives or anything like that, so I definitely appreciate the views and the comments, and thanks guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing.